This project started as an attempt to recover a lost artwork that was here in Atlanta. This is the Rio Videowall, a work by Dara Birnbau from 1989. It was the first multi-screen public artwork in the United States. It was originally part of the Rio shopping mall complex in the old Fourth Ward. Now the problem is that when the mall was shut down around the year 2000, the artwork was destroyed. What's so significant about the Rio Videowall is both that it's an artwork made by an important artist, but because it was lost, it brings up a host of questions about the relationship between corporate interests and public art, about the relationship between public and private spaces. The artist got the idea for this multi-screen artwork, there were 25 screens, from going clubbing in New York City. I wanted to figure out how a work like this that occurred in a space where there were a lot of different races, ethnicities, and sexualities represented in these New York City nightclubs, how it came to be in Atlanta, where it took up residence in an open-air public mall. Reconstructing this history meant not only thinking about the artwork, but thinking about all the things around the artwork. The people, the development here in Atlanta, the video art scene in New York in the 1980s. And it turns out to be this very complex welter of ideas, technologies, and people. I've been funded to first build a virtual archive with students of all the artifacts related to the Rio Videowall. And then I'm writing a book of this history about the Rio Videowall. And as part of that, I'm starting an oral history project in order to get the voices of the people from Atlanta who spent time with the work. Now the final project I've been working on is not so much a recreation of the work, although Dara and I have discussed that, but creating a work that is inspired by that artwork, that sort of speaks to a contemporary sensibility and is perhaps less rooted in the place of Atlanta and is more rooted in wherever it happens to be set up.
The great thing about the original project, the Rio Videowall, was that it took all these really interesting ideas about time and space and being in a space, and also issues of security and cultural context, and really combined them into this wonderful object that was built into the space itself. So people that were experiencing it at the time were experiencing these issues of closed-circuit TV, but also news feeds, and a bunch of different contexts coming together through this artwork. So what we're doing is trying to take those same themes: security, being in a space, experiencing time, experiencing your own imagery being delayed or coming back and interacting with you in different time periods, and really putting that into a new space. We're using things like live camera feeds that can pick up people's movements and bringing them into a space at a later point in time. So maybe you're interacting with the silhouettes of people that were there before you, or silhouettes from yourself in the past. We've developed some software elements of this that play a lot with time and the ideas of news, security, live footage from people interacting in a space, but also things that you can walk up to and really interact with and engage with as physical objects. So things like mirrored or one-way, two-way glass that you can walk up to, and maybe the lighting changes, and so you had this play between seeing yourself versus seeing what's inside of something like this object here, and really just trying to get people to engage with an object in a space, but also make it relational to what's happening with the footage we're using around it.
One of the things that Anna's done with this prototype that I think is so clever and elegant is she's inverted and collapsed the original Rio Videowall, which was this enormous structure, this monolith of 5x5 screens, into a single discrete object, which retains the idea of reflection and projection into a singular unitary form.